We have on the phone a gentleman by the name of Larrick Odell, who's with a company called Envirospect. Good morning, Larrick, and welcome to the Home Solution Show.
Good morning, Jack.
How are you?
Well, just fine, thank you.
You are down in the Columbus area, correct?
Yes, sir.
And joining me in the studio today is Richard Taylor from Richard Taylor Architects. He's also from the Columbus area. Good morning. Say good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Morning.
Larrick, tell us a little bit about your company. What is it exactly that you do at Envirospect?
Well, we're a one-stop shop indoor air quality endeavor.
Okay.
Whatever type of thing that you'd want to find out that's in your air, we can find it out for you. In so many cases, you'd have to go to different people for different types of testing, but we just do it all.
Right off the bat, I want to ask you something. My wife works in an office environment, okay? And she is always complaining, and it's not just one specific time of the year. It seems that everyone, and most folks I'm sure have experiencing, but it seems like there's always this constant something going around in the office where people are constantly sick. And I said, gee, I wonder if it's the air quality in the building alone. And I said, well, they always seem to have issues with their heating and cooling system. But I said, that's not really the comfort level. I'm beginning to wonder if they don't have a virus that just keeps going around. Is there something that you can actually do in a commercial building to evaluate to see if they have some allergens or something going on in the building and causing people to be sick all the time?
Oh, absolutely, Jack. We have a little instrument called a luminometer.
Okay.
And we can come into the office and do various test sites and determine if there's a bacteria level above average in any particular area, and it shows up immediately on the instrument. This is not something you even need to send to a laboratory.
Really?
And and in response to that, we have a disinfectant, it's very people friendly, but it leaves a residual effect. In other words, after you put it on the various surfaces, it'll stay on there for 3 to 4 months before it needs to be reapplied, and it can really keep people feeling healthy at their workplace and not interrupting with the workflow, as it can happen when a lot of people have to be off sick.
Yeah, I mean, obviously detecting it is one thing, but you did mention the fact that I was going to ask you was, how do you prevent it from happening? Is there something that can be, something that can be introduced to the air system, if you will, that can prevent that from happening, or is it not something out there? You just basically have to put it on surfaces around the office, if you will?
Well, right now, you can put it on surfaces. They have an ultraviolet system that can be put into an air supply.
I see.
And it helps somewhat. But when you get people coming in that are sneezing on everything, a lot of times that type of system doesn't keep up with things. And this product that I'm referring to you it's pretty revolutionary. It's not revolutionary that it's a disinfectant. It's revolutionary that it has a polymerized residual effect. In other words, you can't see it on things, but yet it stays on there. It has an abrasion resistance, and it works there again for several months.
Now, this is something that you apply, correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And believe me, if employers I would think, gravitate to this service that you're providing because of the time that they lose for people being out sick. That's got to be huge.
Yeah, and it's fairly inexpensive as well.
Well, tell us a little bit more about residential, too, since a lot of folks obviously have their own home. Or what is it that they need to be concerned about in their home that they probably never even thought about before?
Well, if you have an odor in the house that you can't explain, maybe you have an onset of symptoms of something that had happened because of a specific event, maybe moving into your house or some renovation, or maybe a friend or family member may have a symptom while visiting, and then you've become impervious to it. If there's a leak in the roof that's been there for a long time, or if you got a new baby coming into your house, you'd want to make sure you're not having a level of VOCs or mold spores that you've become resistant to, but a new baby not having an immune system developed will be highly susceptible to it, and then this would affect the development of the child's mentality.
Okay. Well, you mentioned baby right off the bat. I have young children, and they've been in daycares over the years and still do go to aftercare. I would imagine your services would be really welcomed into those environments where germs and seem to be persistent. Kids are always getting sick, or even schools for that matter.
Oh, yes, yes. And there again, we could go over it with this polymerized residual disinfectant I'm talking about. And then it would go a long way to keeping people healthy. And then we also have what we call our new Healthy Infusion program. We have an air quality monitor, and it rents very inexpensively, and then you put it in your place, be it an office, a school, or a daycare center, and it will read the air and tell you that if the air starts to degrade into the optimum conditions for bacterial growth. And then there's a red light that comes on that lets you know that, and at which point I could come in and make an evaluation, and we can do some adjustments, and then keep the air in the sanitary condition that you'd like to be, the sanitary environment that you'd like to be in.
And again, we're talking with Larry Odell from Envirospect. And Larry, how can folks reach you again?
Well, my cell telephone is area 614-496-7567, and I have that on until I go to bed at 11 o'clock at night.
It can reach you anytime. You do have a website. That would be envirospect.net, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that is spelled, let me spell it out for folks, for those who want to jot this down. It would be envirospect.net. That would be ENVIROSPECT.net. Envirospect.net. Larry, tell us a little bit about that hidden thing that we have on our homes that most people probably don't even realize what it is and what harm it could be. That would be radon gas. What is that all about?
Well, radon gas is the deterioration of uranium that's in the soil, and it turns to a gas and comes up into your house. It is now the number 2 cause of lung cancer in the country.
Wow.
And Ohio is, interestingly enough, one of the states that has more radon than most of the other states. And it can be remedied pretty inexpensively by installing a radon pump. And depending on your home, they could range from $800 to $1,000, and then completely eliminate a very serious potential health problem for you.
You mentioned pump. What is that exactly? How does that work, and where is it usually installed?
I'm sorry, again, please?
I'm saying you mentioned a pump. Where is that actually installed, and how does it work? Is that for like a basement, crawl space, or any type of that?
Yes, it's typically a basement. The drainage for a home is typically underneath the basement floor, and these pipes are perf-type pipes that collect the water and then run into the sump, and then the sump pump, of course, pulls it out to the storm drain.
Right.
Well, they install a pump that draws the air out of the sump pump, which is also drawing the air through from the perf pipes out of the bottom of the home. And it's very effective. You can take a radon reading of 100 and reduce it to minuscule, less than 1.
Okay.
4 being the EPA's guidelines on what should be considered for remediation.
I see. All right, well, let's get back to your services as a whole. If someone's considering even buying a home, I mean, most people will hire an inspector to come in and do general inspection for electrical, plumbing issues, foundation issues, whatever it may be. But the inspector typically won't go as far as what you would do. It would probably be smart for them to come in and look at possibly environmental issues for their home that they may be buying, correct?
Correct. We've had things, these freaky little things that happen that you'd never be aware of. Rodents that will, during the construction process, crawl into the air system and die down there, and it create air problems. And then there's an inordinate amount of dust that accumulates in the air system of a newly built home. And wood tends to sit around in the open air, getting rained on before the home is built, and then sometimes you have a little bit of mold growing into that, and then it becomes built into the wall. And these are things that will come out in an air test. I
see. Now, when you do the evaluation, you do the testing, you do have a cause, I guess, or a method to correct these issues, correct? And is that something that you also do? You will actually go in and correct the issues as well, besides just giving an evaluation?
Well, no, we do the evaluation. We come up with the forensics, if you will, of what the problem is and where it is, and then we can refer you to people, but we don't actually do the remediation process.
No, that's fine. I mean, as long as you will give them a complete study and a complete solution or a source, if you will, to correct these measures in their home that they either may be considering buying or maybe already living in. And it's not for people.
Absolutely.
And it's not people.
They'll leave. I'll leave them with a complete report so that when they're asking somebody to remedy their situation, they can speak about it intelligently, and the report will probably give you more information about your issue than you even want to know. So it'll give you a complete understanding, and then you can have a good idea of what you're asking people to do.
Now, residentially speaking, do you have like a base fee that you charge for folks who want to come in and do a complete evaluation for their home, or is it a case-by-case situation?
Well, you can do a complete environmental inspection, and it depends on how deeply you want to go with it. The lab fees start to mount up depending on how extensive of a screen that you want to get involved in.
Right.
But a complete home inspection could range, on an average, between $400 and $600.
Okay. Well, that's not
which
that
would
bad.
include the reports.
Yeah, that's not bad considering it's a health issue that we're concerned about. Lyric, I want to thank you for joining us here on the show today. And if folks want to find out more information about him and his company, go to 614-496-7567 or visit him at envirospect.net. Lyric, thanks for joining us on the show today.
Oh, you're very welcome, Jack.